Okay? So you're supposed to believe you already got it before you see it, right? And you shall have them. This is the key. This is the secret. It's in black and white, very clear, but you just can't get people to believe it, okay? And we also know James chapter 1, 6 through 8 says, but let him ask in faith, nothing doubting, for he that doubteth is like the surge of the sea, driven by the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Well, what he's calling double-minded is the norm for most people. It is the norm. It's still double-minded for a child of God, if they believe what we just read here. Okay? It's the supernatural. It brings the supernatural down to earth. Well, we were learning. This was good. More tests of faith came with the timelines. About a week later, Brandy saw Kevin show up at Don's house in his truck, which Eve had. And he was there with a backpack. So he called me and let me know that. I called Eve, and she said his truck disappeared. It's gone. Okay, timeline. Okay. I think he planned on Don carrying on his slander war against us with what he gave him out of his backpack. Don had already been doing this, which we know from other witnesses. And this appearing of Kevin, of course, was the errant timeline. Then Kevin left and was dead again. And that's because we would not accept it. And the angels wanted to take down his slander and those continuing his evil mission. And this was witnessed by the angels and was the original timeline, the one God ordained. Then later, Don was executed by the angels as a Judas to stop him from carrying on the AI slander for Kevin's demons. Okay, that was something that was coming in the original timeline. Okay. Baruch told me that he was dead and he was under Debbie's window where he went to be a peeping Tom, or Don, we call him peeping Don, as we called him, before. So God wanted to show just what he was. And after the first visit from the pervert Kevin, Don began to be a peeping Don. Got caught quite a few times, looking in Lexi's window and looking in other people's window. And yep. So perversion immediately jumped on Don. Because we know evil companionships corrupt good morals, but his weren't ever good, actually. So I told Brandy this morning that Don was dead in the original timeline from God, and he was under Debbie's window. That's the original timeline. We already knew what it was. And he was caught in his sin, basically. Again, that was the original timeline, but we had departed from it when Kevin came, so on and so forth, right? I hope I'm not confusing you. I got it pretty well in my mind right now, but this is when we both erred, Brandy and I. Brandy said, I'll check. When I told him exactly what the angel said, he's dead. He's under her window. I told him that. He said, I'll check. So when he went to look and see if our timeline was correct, he saw Don drive by with Merlene in the car. in the errant timeline. Y'all catching on? Oops. You know, when you believe you have received and you walk by sight, you know you're not going to get it, right? It's not going to happen. You fall into the failure timeline, right? This is what's going on. And this has happened with a lot of people who have tried to believe for miracles and failed. So now we were corrected to believe and speak the original timeline with Don under the window. However, we are now further down that same timeline. We've gone a little bit further down the line, okay? Okay? I'm learning about this. It's super. And for those who don't believe Father changes timelines according to our faith, I've already shared some of my experiences with this.